It's deja vu in Colorado. Jake Oettinger with a masterful performance to steal a victory on the road. Jason Robertson is a man on the mission, and the chef's kiss from Mikko Rantanen to finish it off in a shootout. We'll break it all down next.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a weekend edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Another thrilling victory on the road for the Dallas Stars over the Colorado Avalanche by a final score of 5-4 in a shootout. Jake Oettinger was phenomenal. Jason Robertson as well is a man on a mission to begin this season. And of course, Mikko Rantanen is going to haunt the Avs for years to come. He finishes it off in a shootout. What a couple of games to kick off the 2025-26 season. We're going to break it all down on today's show. Glenn Gullickson is getting that extra 1% he's been looking for. I also want to talk about Bastian and his bros, that fourth line for the Stars as well. But my goodness, what a few games to begin the season for the Dallas Stars. And the reason I say it's deja vu in Colorado, because I feel like I have watched that game a dozen times over the last couple of years in Colorado specifically, where the Stars are just on their heels for the majority of the first period. They're holding on for dear life. They're testing Jake Oettinger, who was just so good in this contest. Oettinger ends up making 35 saves in the game. He was sensational in overtime too. My goodness, the glove save on Marty Necas, moving from his right to left. Makar set up Necas. Duchesne did not have his stick in overtime. It broke, and then Necas just gets robbed. Absolutely stoned by the glove hand of Oettinger. Man, he was phenomenal in the game. And the only reason the Stars got a point, and really the only reason the Stars got a full 2 points in Colorado last night. Let's just give a round of applause to Otter, who was sensational. The expected goals against 4.09 for the Avs. They ended up with 5 power plays. They went 1 for 5. The Stars' penalty kill was excellent. That was part of the recipe once again. It was like all the same ingredients. That's why I say it's deja vu. Oettinger's phenomenal. The PK stepped up. And all of a sudden, the Stars had a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. After just being hemmed in their own zone, the Avs were able to extend shifts. They were much better at 5-on-5. They created a lot more offense. But credit to Dallas, when they had their opportunities, they scored. And finally, the Stars got a bit of a break. It's a great play by Nils Lundkvist to join the rush. He gets the pass from Rope hands. He drives in, peels away, puts it back in front of the net. Rantanen, with eyes in the back of his head, leaves it into the path of Thomas Harley, and then kabang, he drives it into the back of the net. Stars have a 1-0 lead when they certainly did not deserve it. They were outshot 14-5 in that first period. But again, a couple penalties did not help Dallas. They were a bit out of sorts. Their rhythm was all thrown out of whack. And again, I feel like I've watched this game 12 times over the last couple years. A couple soft penalties of the soft variety, I should say, that the Stars received. And it gave Colorado some life on the power play. But once again, the PK really bucked up early. The Stars certainly needed that. Second period was fun and exciting outside of the first 10 minutes when Colorado came out. Necas was excellent in the game. I do want to throw this out there. I think both teams are probably happy with who they have. Rantanen is phenomenal. Nate just was slicing, dicing, flying around. He was spectacular in the game too. McKinnon, of course, was a dog. Lehkonen was dangerous. All the big boys, really on both sides, I had moments in the game. Colorado was a better team throughout the entirety of the contest, but I just give Dallas credit for hanging in, and that's sort of what they do. And Jared Bednar, the head coach of the Avs, said he would be happy if he doesn't have to see the Stars ever again. I think right now Dallas has just been a bugaboo for Colorado, and Nate McKinnon seemed a bit baffled, speechless after the game. He was phenomenal. He ended up with a 3-point night in the game, but Dallas just battled and battled. You get the fourth line to pitch in from Bastian, Nathan Bastian with his first goal as a Dallas Star. And it all comes from hard work on the forecheck to win battles. And then the Stars work it around. Lindell with a great setup. Bastian is right on the top of the crease, and he bangs it in. We're going to talk a bit more about him, but I've liked his first few games in Victory Green to begin the year. Robo, he is moving as good as I have ever seen him. This is the best version of Jason Robertson I think I have ever seen. He was hounding the puck last night. When Dallas struggled to get into the offensive zone, they had really, really tough times trying to get in and get out of their zone for that matter. Colorado just was able to keep pucks alive. They were really aggressive. Stars just had some fits getting out of their own zone. And then at points, they just couldn't get into the attack zone at all. But there was moments where Robertson, I remember in that second period specifically, where he just once, twice, 3 times kept a play alive for Dallas because of his just hard back-checking work, lifting sticks, being physical, throwing his body around. He ends up scoring a beauty on Wedgwood. He just continues to have Wedgwood's number, and it comes off the face-off. Stars with excellent pressure or excellent, I should say, body position in front of Wedgwood. You can look at the goal on NHL.com. You know, they have the dots. Rantanen, Rope, and Robo are all 3 in front of the net when they win that face-off. They all go to the front of the net. Harley gets the shot through, more importantly, and it's deflected home by Jason Robertson. Harley has been exquisite, too. He's got 4 points in the first couple of games. Robertson now with his second goal, this time of deflection variety. He ended up with 5 shots on net. And credit to Goldson for putting the big boys together. Robo did not start with Rantanen and Hintz, but it was following an icing, I believe. He trotted out that top line, and the Stars cash in late in the second period to give them a 3-2 lead at the break. But that's just a great move by Goldson to trot the big boys out there. Rope wins the face-off. That's step number 1. Harley gets the shot through. Robo with a beautiful deflection, and the Stars are back up. And Wedgwood wasn't great in the game. That certainly didn't help Colorado. Not that I'm complaining, but he was over pursuing a few times, and the Stars were able to take advantage, which they have been able to do so in the past. I think back to the season opener against Nashville last season when the Stars, they put up 4 or 5 in that game. But man, Robo, it's on both sides of the puck. He graded out as the best Dallas Star in the game. And that's not just because of what he was doing offensively and generating chances, but that's his work on the back check, work in the defensive zone, just working extremely hard. And again, I want to hammer it home. He's moving better than I've ever seen him. He is going to be an absolute problem this year, especially if he gets to play with Rantanen some, who was good in the game, wasn't as good as the other night against Winnipeg, but still made a lot of winning plays. And he gets booed for it, and it's just so delicious when he does, because he is such a good player. And the beat goes on for Dallas. Those are 2 really, really good road wins. in the Central Division, 2-0. A point last night would have been awesome. 2 points is cherry on top. And now you got Minnesota at home to try to finish off this gauntlet to start the season. But extremely pleased with what we've seen from Dallas. And it wasn't a great game last night. I mean, Jake Oettinger was the best Dallas star. And somehow he didn't receive a 3-star of the game. Brock Nelson got the 2nd star. Come on, Colorado. You're not that bitter. Nelson, by the way, had 0 points. You're not that bitter, Colorado. Jake Oettinger deserved a star of the game, at least 2nd, if not number 1. I know McKinnon had 3 points, deservedly so, but let's rectify this, Colorado, and fix it. The 3 stars, a little bit of a joke. McKinnon and Harley are fine, but Nelson number 2. What are we doing here? Anyways, Golitzin and getting that extra 1%, because this is one of the biggest takeaways outside of just Jake Oettinger. I did want to hammer home this point because, it got my rocks off. I'll tell you about it in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel is so exciting, has so many ways for you to play. You can build parlays, player props, even follow the live lines during the game. It just gives the game a little more excitement, especially on a Sunday. I was watching Cowboys Panthers here this afternoon. What a tough loss, but man, you can sprinkle a little cash on the Cowboys and then you're right in it till the very end. It makes football even more exciting to watch. It's not just football. We have the ALCS, we have the NLCS upcoming now. World Series is right around the corner. You can get in on the action. Of course, NHL has started up, so get in with FanDuel. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. One of my favorite things so far in the first couple of games this season is Glenn Golitson's approach, mindset, vision, message is translating on the ice right away. We saw it against Winnipeg. We saw it again last night. And my goodness, the first 2 games of this season have felt like extensions of the playoffs last spring. These do not feel like early season contests. And maybe some of that is the Central Division. 2 teams the Stars have seen, of course, and knocked out in the postseason. But, man, it feels like an extension of the spring, which I think is good for Dallas, too, because they are great tests, and it allows us to see Golitson's vision and plan in execution. And again, I know I'm saying that a lot, but to see it transpiring before your eyes, the message, being more physical, being tougher to play against, you can see it. And that is one of my biggest takeaways over the first 2 games. And I think it was embodied last night by Justin Ritzkovian. We have to talk about it. First off, Ross Colton just runs Miro from behind, like right in the numbers. This goes back to last year when Miro got ran from behind by Rimpe. That actually led to a penalty. And I talked about why is it always been almost allowed in the NHL to hit people from behind, but any other league that's just not allowed. You just can't run people into the wall by their numbers. And Colton just buries Miro from behind, boarding, charging, roughing. I don't know what you want to call it. Checking from behind, something needed to be called there. It doesn't. But then, my goodness, Ritzy, the dog, comes in and just ravages Ross Colton. I love that stuff right there. That'll get you fired up. I was on the bus back from our game last night in Shreveport. We won in a shootout too. believe it or not. So it's like deja vu all over again, part 2. But I'm on the bus, and I'm jazzed about it. I'm watching Ritzy just go after Colton. He took a couple of good licks, but he got a good lick in. But that right there is what the Stars were talking about, what they wanted to see. Golitzin is preaching, sticking up for your best player on the ice. And Amiro hasn't had a phenomenal start this year. He looked good last night, but I think he's still just sort of feeling out everything. I just don't think we've seen the best version of him yet this season, nor do you really want to. Yes, it's early, but like that was awesome to see. And Miro too. Rantanen in the first game, he's just tossing, chucking Nemestikov. Hence, he was eager to engage. Ritskovian also finished a check. This is a nothing play in the grand scheme of things towards the impact of the score of the game. But as a defenseman for Colorado, he moves the puck up the ice, and a couple seconds later, Ritskovian goes flying in and finishes his check. Like that's what you're looking for. Don't shy away from contact. Play through the opponent. And we're seeing that. We saw that with Rope, and that's that extra 1% of physicality, the extra tick up that he's looking for. And we've seen it in the first 2 games. And it's just really, really encouraging to see Golitsin's approach, mindset, vision in action right away. And it's translating. That is a great sign for the rest of the year. And it's Ritskovian. It's a rookie. It's Rope Hintz, your veteran. It's Robo, Rantanen, some of your superstars. It's Jake Oettinger, of course. It's everybody involved that is chipping in. That's a great sign. Great start for Dallas. Couple of road wins to kick off the season, and they're in business. Some numbers to throw your way. Rantanen, Hintz, and Robo, they played 7 minutes together, 7:48 of 5-on-5 time, most of any other line in the game. So Golitzin is shuffling lines. We saw Johnston with Duchesne and Sagan. Oh, the Johnston breakaway goal, that was beautiful. Starts in his own zone to make the block shot in the second period, or third period, excuse me, after Colorado had tied the game. And Johnston picks up his second of the year. That was a sweet juke of Wedgwood. By the way, Robo's so automatic in Shootout. It's so funny. He does the same thing. And it's like, I'm still nervous when it's happening. I think we all are to some degree, but I don't even need to worry about it. It's 1-0 Dallas before the shootout even begins. And then Rantanen wins it. It's just, you can't ask for a better script. But Johnston had 5 shots in the game as well. Robo, as I mentioned earlier, he had 5 shots in the game. Then you had Bastian with a couple. Rantanen was there. I think a balanced night from Dallas. Again, that 4-minute power play early, or not early, but it was kind of in the middle of the third period. That was tough. Penalty trouble has always sort of played Dallas in Colorado, although the high sticking on McCarr, like, again, most of them of the soft variety, but they don't complain. They buck up, and they find a way to kill it off. The 5-on-5 chances, 31-17 in favor of Colorado, 13-8 in high danger. They were good. They were mauling Dallas at points during the game, but the Stars weathered, and they had pockets. They had stretches where they played well too. And sometimes it's just the nature of being on the road. You don't have it, and you just have to find a way. And Dallas found a way last night. And it felt like it was everybody involved. The Sam Steeles of the world, the Ritskovians, the Bastians, the Rantanens, the Oettingers, they all had a hand in it. And it wasn't pretty by any stretch, but Road wins rarely are, and that's a full 2 points against a very good Colorado team. You take back home, and that's all you ask for. Now, Bastian. Nathan Bastian. Talk about him, the fourth line, a bit, about what we're seeing out of the depth of Dallas and the identity change as well with Golitzin. We'll do that in just a moment. Bastian picks up his first goal as a Dallas Star last night, right on top of the crease. A beautiful setup by Esa Lindell to tie the game at 2 at the time in the second period. And Bastian has been exceeding expectations, at least in my eyes. I didn't have high expectations for him. Really didn't know what he was about. I haven't really seen him play that much. So I'm getting to see him night in and night out consistently. But I've liked his game. He, of course, is a large human being. He sort of has that Marchment size, right? A little bit more under controlled, but plays a similar style of game. The offensive upside is not there that Marchment has been able to provide for Dallas over the last couple of years. But he plays a perfect role next to a Fox, next to a Steele, sometimes next to a Blackwell. He has better speed for a bigger guy. He can move well. He's lanky. He doesn't shy away from contact, of course. And I think has been a great impact for this Stars bottom six or fourth line. Playing next to Fox, so they play a simple game. They had a tough shift when Lehkonen scored the goal early in the third period. They struggled off the rush, but that was more of a Dallas thing, not just a fourth line exclusively. The Stars struggled to handle Colorado's speed at times, especially in the transition game, and they turned the puck over in the attack zone. Eventually, Colorado comes back the other way. McKinnon's trailing. Nobody's there, and he sidesteps Foxa, who is flat-footed. I don't think anybody can stop him, let alone Foxa, when McKinnon was moving like that. And then Lehkonen gets the tap in on the back door. That is another thing the Stars and Lundqvist even have to improve on. Lundqvist has looked good in the first couple games. He was on the ice for 3 of the 4 last night against Colorado. And they were all really of the same variety, just backdoor passes across the crease where Oettinger was sort of hung out to dry, and the Stars just couldn't stop that cross-ice feed. They couldn't get sticks in lanes, or they were just giving Colorado way too much time and space in the offensive zone. And Lundqvist had some issues in front of his own net, not marking his man, and he suffered a bit because of that in the game. But back to the original point with Ben and, or pardon me, Bastian, Foxa, they had that tough shift. But other than that, I enjoy the simplicity of their game. And I feel like you're not asking them to do something they are not capable of. With DeBoer and a fourth line that was more of a skating line, which usually featured a Beck, a Blackwell, a Steele, some variety of guys that are not proven scorers, right? They're not proven guys that are going to give you 15 goals a season. And as much as DeBoer's system did work, I'm not here to knock anything that DeBoer did. The Stars offense was incredible under his tenure. But this version of Dallas's fourth line allows players like Bastian and Foxa to do what they do best. And that's just be heavy on the forecheck. Play a physical brand of hockey. Play below the circle. Spend time in the offensive zone. Yes. Will they give up a goal or two here and there? Yes. But for the most part, they're not going to give up much. They may not generate a ton, but when they do, that's delicious. We saw it again with Bastian because it's good work. Bastian was actually on the ice with Robo and Johnson at the time, and he just plants his body in front of the net. It allows them to play within their strengths instead of looking for a fourth line that's really just not capable of giving you offense to do that. Now it's a different approach. It can wear down opponents. More importantly, that's what I've liked about this line. I feel like as games go along, as the season goes along, this line will become more effective because they play with a high motor. They will beat and bruise you, and that will wear down teams. Come playoff team, it's about wearing down your opponents, wearing them down. And you want your superstars to be your superstars. You want your depth guys to be your depth guys. And we've seen that at a Bastian. Again, he's exceeded my expectations here in the early going, albeit I don't know if I even really had any. So I'm pleased with what we've saw, but he skates better than I would have thought just on his look. He's a battering ram. He's finishing checks. I think he's doing exactly what Glenn Goldson wants him to do. I think we're going to see that with Adam Ernie. I would not be shocked if we see him get a start against Minnesota here on Tuesday to get him into the lineup. Look for Petrovic as well to get them some time. So this is now the expectation. This is now the fourth line's makeup, their identity. It just gives Dallas a little something different. And I think this goes back to last year, and maybe I never voiced it in this particular way, but now seeing this, I feel like this is what I was asking for when I talked about different archetypes, different types of players, instead of multiple like Sam Steels, right? Similar guys that play a straight line game. I think Blackwell's sort of in that conversation, albeit different. But Bastian, like, he's a big boy, and he's not a marksman. He's not going to score 20-plus goals for you. He is just going to be a battering ram. And it has, the Stars have different varieties. They just, like, there's different makeups of each line. Different guys complementing one each other. Like Steele again, thought he's had a couple of nice games with a couple of shifts up top. They moved him down in the lineup yesterday. He obviously had to kill off a ton of penalties since the Stars got caught into some trouble there. So he was able to gather some extra minutes in that department. Harley played over 25 minutes along with Miro. Rope played 22. You're not going to see that a ton this year, but he played quite a bit. Steele ended up with almost 15 minutes a night. And then you have Foxa down there at 13. Bastian at 7. Bastian, Ritskovian played under 7 minutes, both of them, but impactful 7 minutes. I'll give them that. They were noticeable. The fact that I'm doing a segment on them, I think, says that they're being noticeable. They're doing something. And they've only played 7 minutes. Ideally, they're going to play more, probably closer to 11, 12, but penalties have sort of thrown things out of rhythm at points in both of the first two games. Nine power plays I think the Stars have given up 9 times now. So it's it isn't perfect. It isn't as balanced maybe as Goldson would like, but finding ways to win hockey games, that's all you can ask for. But I love the makeup. I've enjoyed Bastian more than I thought coming in to the season. So good stuff all the way around. What a fun hockey game. An extension of last spring with how both teams have come out of the gates. Hasn't been a ton of sloppiness. And Oettinger just stood on his head. This Dallas was reeling at points, but they survived. They capitalized on their chances, and that's the way she goes. Stars home opener on Tuesday against the Wild. The Central Division Gauntlet to begin the year is not over. We'll be back on Monday. We'll discuss that and continue with another great week of episodes here on Locked On Stars. By the way, we've hit 4,500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. I want to try to get to 5,000 subscribers. It has been amazing how much this channel has grown over the last couple of seasons when I've been the host here. And thank you so much. Drop a comment how you feel about the start of Dallas, and let me know how you feel about Bastion. Robo. What are you seeing of Robo? Is Robo skating better than you ever seen him? I think he is. Anyways, Stars fans, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on tomorrow's episode. So long, Stars fans.